No, you were criminal enough to lure this woman. Your criminal record is probably clean because they ain't know about all the other things you do. You didn't get catch. What the hell? Now, I understand you're agitated and aggravated about this woman interfering in your marriage, and I understand all this. I do not agree with you or support you luring her somewhere and throwing acid on her. Lure her somewhere and bring her somewhere and have a conversation with her. No, I don't appreciate, ma'am, that you're interfering with my relationship. Bring her together. Say, no, man, I need to get you together. This is my husband, blah, blah, blah. As a matter of fact, if there's anybody you should have been dealing with, you should have dealt with your husband. No, I'm not have nothing to do with you. Deal with your husband who is married to you, who has an obligation to you. She has no obligation to you, none whatsoever. He has an obligation. You don't even know what he told her. Now, maybe you do know, and I just don't know. But it is what he might have tell us some story, but y'all is living in the same house, but y'all don't sleep together and all that stuff, and he waiting on the boss. You know how man is lie. That's how these fellas be lying and telling y'all all kind of things. You understand what I'm saying? No, and now you turn around and you throw acid on a woman, and now you want to ask for reduced sentence. No, go to jail. Spend your time. Spend your 7 years. Yeah, spend your 7 years. Next time you'll think about things like that. You understand what I'm saying to you? Don't. Ain't nobody on the run. No, you wrong. I don't care how the woman take your husband. You wrong. It's just the way it is. Anyhow, let's move on. And then we have another story. And this story deals with the late Scott Richards. Scott Richards was actually from Graincastle, and so he's in a Lutheran man. And this woman who orchestrated his murder, or was a part of that. It says, woman who set up boyfriend to be robbed sentenced to 7.5 years. The Court of Appeals on Tuesday re-sentenced a woman who set up a boyfriend to be robbed to 7.5 years in prison. On May 26, 2016, Raquel Johnson lured ZNS Radio announced that Scott Richards to Bonefish Pond, where they had sex on the boardwalk. Johnson knew that Richard Bevins was waiting there to rob Richards, who was shot and killed during the hold-up. In July 2022, Johnson was found guilty of Richards' murder and armed robbery and sentenced to 28 years and 10 years respectively. However, the Court of Appeal overturned the convictions early this year and substituted the armed robbery charge with one of robbery. Johnson's lawyer, Nathan Smith, argued that a sentence of 28 years was appropriate. He said that Johnson had received 10 years for the armed robbery, and now that she was convicted of the lesser serious crime of robbery, she was entitled to less time. Prosecutor Terry Arger suggested a sentence between 12 and 14 years. He said Johnson committed such breach of trust by luring her boyfriend to an isolated area, knowing that he would be robbed. He said Johnson caused police to arrest her former boyfriend when she falsely claimed he was the robber and shooter. In giving the court's decision, Justice of Appeal Andrew Charles said the offense carried a maximum of 14 years. Charles said the only mitigating factor in Johnson's favor was that she had no prior convictions. She said Johnson was a willing participant to the crime and had committed a breach of trust. Charles said 10 years was an appropriate sentence.